Yeah, peace. Apparently it was a Windrush day yesterday, wasn't it? Celebration of all the black people from the Caribbean coming over on that first boat called Windrush to put some colour back into England. Notice I said the word back. That's another story. That'll ruffle a few feathers. But yeah, anyway, got me thinking about my dad when he came over here in the 60s. And I always remember the first time I went on holiday back to Jamaica, where he's from, and had a little look at the island for myself. I couldn't believe it. The minute they opened the door on the plane and was standing near the door, it's like the same sensation you get when you open up the oven door. You just get that waft of warm, heated air. It just hits you. And I was like, wow, how hot is this place? I mean, like, we're coming down the steps now from the plane. It's just pure heat. Just surrounded with heat. And my first thoughts were I don't think I can handle this, It's just going to be too hot. It's going to be like this all the time. I was like, no way. This place is hot, man. But, after a while, you get used to it, and it's just lovely. It's like all your bones are getting penetrated with warmth and heat, and then the sun on top of that. You just feel alive. Your brain's just properly awake. And the thing that really got me was the brightness. It was like you was in a dream. It's like someone turned the contrast up and the colouring up on the TV. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All the lush scenery and the bright greens and all the different colours of the flowers, and the spirit was different in the people. It was just, the atmosphere was just different. Long and short of it, right, after having that experience, when I come home, I went to my dad. I goes, Dad, what the hell was you thinking? Why did you leave that place? That place is beautiful. It's like heaven. Now, the obvious thing was, I'm like brushing the poverty under the carpet. But basically that was it. He was like, son, I'm just looking for a better life. He said the plan was to come over to England, make money, because there's no money to be made back home. And we just wanted a better standard of living for ourselves, Plus it was a little adventure as well, to see the world and all of that. And they were constantly getting told that England's the motherland, and the streets are paved with gold, and basically how great England was. And the moment he arrived, the harsh reality hit him. He goes, son, when I stepped off in England, he said, I thought the place was on fire. I had to laugh. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, all the smoke everywhere in the air, and you could hardly see, and it was all grey, and it's like pure smoke coming out of the houses. I thought everything was on fire. But he goes, obviously it was just a chimney and all that. But he goes, it was just a grey place, no colour, no nothing. The people were grey. They're all dressed the same, grey. There was no life in the people. And plus, on top of that, the intense racism that they got, trying to look for places to stay, no blacks, Irish or dogs. That's another thing that got me. When he first told me, I said, no Irish. I goes, why no Irish? What was the problem with the Irish people? He says, I don't know what the problem is there. You know, that's another thing. What's that intense hate with the Irish people and the English people? What's that all about? That's deep in itself. That's another one. That'll ruffle a few feathers. But anyway, yeah, he was telling me all his experience and stuff. And how every time they went out to a pub or something, there was some racist beef and they had to fight every weekend, sometimes during the week. It was madness. You know, and a lot of them got disheartened, you know. They just longed for home, and you know, a good few of them just went straight back. Some of them, as soon as they landed, it didn't last like a few weeks, they just went straight back because of the cold, the grey and whatnot. It wasn't the picture that it was painted out to be. But again, I said to my dad, it's like, why didn't you go back then? And he goes, you know, after a bit, you get used to it. You get used to having money in your pocket. You know, you battle the cold and whatnot. You have a family, you settle down. It's not as easy to go back anymore. And he says, I didn't really want to go back to poverty anyway. You know, it was making a nice little life here. And another thing, he said, if I go back, he said, I've never come back to England. Says that's another thing. That's why he's never been back on holiday. He says, any time I touch down in Jamaica, I'm not coming back. So that's another reason why I didn't travel back to Jamaica. But yeah, man, all the hardships after that to go through over here. You know, them guys, man, they had it hard. The way they were treated, having to be packed with other people in the rooms and whatnot. And you know, when you're packed with other people, you know, problems can arise and all that type of thing. But he said, all in all, he said the community was stronger because of the adverse conditions they had to go through. They had to pull together. They had no choice. You know, so in that sense, it was a better time than it is today, because a lot of us are just separated, and there's no I-ness anymore like it was back in the day. So yeah, man, my dad come out with some stories. He still does a lot of the time. I have to raise my eyebrows. Some of the stuff, man, he tells me about his experiences over here. But yeah, they made a sacrifice, man. You know, travelling thousands of miles to make a better life for us. Having to fight in the streets and stuff just so we could walk in relative safety down the road. You know, you said, son, man, sometimes you can walk down the street, well, most of the time on your own. You have to walk with other mans, or else you get jumped. You're having to fight yourself, you know, from coming back from the shop to Ross. Yeah, it's interesting talking to some of these, I call them the golden generation of the Windrush, man, the different generation, the beautiful people, dignified and teak tough at the same time. You know what? The Windrush generation, I salute you guys, man. You know what I mean? Much love. Peace.